wake up to fight for my yearnings. The fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. I tried to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. I tried to get by, but I'm burning. And behind my mind, it runs. All these thoughts have troubled me. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need. Right, yeah, I really need time now. I need to free mind now. I really need mine now. I need to free my mind now. I really need time now. I need to free mind now. I really need mine now, yeah. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me.
Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing my March wrap up. So, as you saw, I made my own coffee creamer and I like it, but it's not creamy like creamer should be, you know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe I'll have to tweak a little. Okay, so maybe I'll have to tweak it a little bit and see what I can do about that for a non-dairy creamer. So I had a pretty decent reading month as far as quantity, and I would say an average reading month as far as quality. As you know, I co-host the Game of Tomes readathon with Robin and Dasha, and this was our first time doing a full month-long readathon. This was our main quest. I really enjoyed it, and somehow I was able to complete my quest early. So I added a few extra books to the end of the month. But I'm gonna start off with the books that I read for main quest and what prompt they were for. If you remember in my March TBR video, I pledged to House Tyrell this time around. I left the Baratheons and I really enjoyed my house. I really had a good time talking to everybody in the Discord and on Twitter and Instagram, and it was a really good time. So stay tuned for more details about potential future rounds of Game of Tomes. But as for now, let's get into the books that I read. First book that I read in March was for the betrayal prompt, since I left my original house, and that prompt was to read your lowest rated book according to Goodreads or the StoryGraph, and that book for me was Death by Coffee by Alex Erickson. So this is a cozy mystery about a woman who opens up a coffee shop. The coffee shop's name is Death by Coffee. During their first day open, a customer comes in and shortly after dies. It appears that this person had a severe peanut allergy and somehow peanuts were in the coffee. I have a full drunk book review of this book. I did not enjoy it at all. I gave it 2 stars because I really hated the main character and just the way that things happened in this book. So I've been trying to read cozy mysteries, and when I read Murder by the Book a little while ago, the main character getting involved in the mystery made sense because it affected her directly. Like I said in my review, this bitch is just straight up nosy. She is ridiculously intrusive, and the fact that nobody slapped this bitch didn't make sense to me. If you want more of my thoughts, check out my review, but 2 stars. Do not recommend. The next book that I read was for the Sir Loris prompt, and it was to read a book with a pretty cover, so I chose Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen because a black mermaid, okay? I ended up enjoying this. I did a blended read and I listened to the audiobook as well. This is about a mermaid whose job it is to collect the souls of the enslaved people who were thrown overboard. And so one day she goes to collect the soul of a young boy, and it turns out that the boy is still alive. This has never happened before. She doesn't really know what she's supposed to do, but she feels that it's the right thing to save him. And her saving him causes this entire chain of events that she did not see coming. There is a sequel. It's called Soul of the Deep. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but the author recently revealed the cover and it's fucking gorgeous. And I'm really excited to see what happens because I wasn't expecting it to be the beginning of a series. I thought this was a standalone at first, and then a couple of days after that, the author released the cover. So I'm really excited. Highly recommend. And actually, I recommend the audiobook for this one too because it is very good. The next book that I read was for the political maneuvering prompt, and I chose While Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams. This was, I enjoyed it, but I rated it 3 stars for a few reasons. First and foremost, I think the audiobook really played a huge role in that. I don't like when audiobook narrators put on fake accents. It's really fucking annoying, and 9 times out of 10, the accent isn't well done, and that happened a lot in this audiobook. I also think that I probably should have done a blended read, which is what I had originally planned to do, and it just didn't work out that way. Maybe it's because of all the legal terms and all the stuff that's happening that I wasn't really grasping it fully. But then on top of that, I also didn't feel connected to any of the characters. In fact, I disliked a lot of the characters. There was also a romance in here that I felt was completely unfucking necessary, so there's that. But in this story, a Supreme Court judge slips into a coma and names their clerk as their power of attorney. She doesn't know why. She wasn't expecting it at all. Everybody's attacking her for this and saying, oh, well, you must have been sleeping with him and this must be the reason, because he can't possibly have done this on purpose and whatever. I didn't really care for the main character. I also didn't like the way that people treated her, but then there were some other things in the story itself that I just felt were unnecessary, like the thought of a random character that was unnecessarily vulgar, or describing someone as racially ambiguous for literally no reason because they aren't important to the story. So there was just a lot of things in here that I didn't necessarily love, but again, it could have also been all of the legal talk. So maybe if you're more familiar into politics, that might make it easier for you. But yeah, no. 3 stars. I didn't hate it, but it just was pretty average to me. The next book that I read was for the group prompt to continue a series, and I chose to read my arc of The Blind King's Wrath by Ashok K. Banker. This is the final book in the Burnt Empire saga. So I do plan to do a full review of the Burnt Empire saga at some point, hopefully soon. Unfortunately, I ended up rating this book 2 stars. It was my most anticipated read of the year, and I'm really sad that I didn't like it. However, I think that because this series was supposed to be a lot longer and it got shortened, I think that really plays a role in why I didn't enjoy it. At the same time though, it felt both too long and not enough, if that makes any sense. Like, there were a lot of parts where I felt like, okay, this information isn't necessary, can we please speed this along? And at the same time, I recognized that because the series was cut down and there were new characters introduced, that the author was trying to give us a little bit more insight into that character and get inside their head a little bit. And I understand that, but at the same time, it took forever for the thing that I was waiting for, that I knew was coming, because it's evident from the first 2 books, it didn't actually happen until like 80% in. And then so the last 20% felt rushed, and there were a lot of details and information mentioned during that last 20% that I wish had been explored, or that at least I would have liked to see an epilogue for. But if you're unfamiliar with the series, the first book is called Upon a Burning Throne. It was on my best of 2021. And it's about the Burnt Empire, where the emperor has just died, and so they're trying to figure out who will rule next. There are 2 young princes who are both given the test of fire, in which they literally sit upon a burning throne. Both of them pass, and it's decided that they will rule together. However, a woman comes forward with her child, who is older than both of the princes. That child also passes the test of fire, and hell breaks loose from there. I will never stop recommending Upon a Burning Throne. I absolutely love it. I love everything that this author was able to do in the first book, and I just wish that he had been able to execute the series the way that he had intended. So I do think that I definitely want to pick up more work by this author if I can find it. I believe a lot of his work is translated, so I will definitely look into that. But even though I didn't like The Blind King's Wrath, I still absolutely love Upon a Burning Throne. And I'm really sad that this didn't do what I expected. I mean, the ending is satisfying, I will say that, but it was just getting there that I really didn't enjoy. The next book that I read was for the Marjorie prompt, and that was to read a popular book. So I finally picked up The Kiss Quotient by Helen Wong. So let me tell you, I was sprinting with Dasha when I started this, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. This first chapter is terrible. I started tabbing it, and like the first 7 tabs, all in the first chapter, were all red. Red means red flag. And so I was like, I really don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this. I ended up loving this book. I ended up rating it 4.75 stars, and I'm so happy that I read it. Now, during our most recent sprints on Robin's channel, she was saying that she didn't like the second book, The Bride Test, and so I'm a little worried about that, but I'm definitely going to continue this series. So in this, we're following Stella. She's on the autism spectrum. She's super smart, works in economics, but with data, and is like really passionate about her work. Her parents are pressuring her to get married and have babies and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, in order to have babies, I need to have sex. And I don't think I'm very good at sex, so I'm gonna hire an escort. And that's where Michael comes in. When I tell you that Michael is book boyfriend of the year, I think I like Michael more than I like Zaf from Take a Hand, Danny Brown. And that really fucking says a lot. I absolutely love Michael. Their romance was fantastic. I do want to do a review of the series, but I think I'm going to do a series review and just do all three at once. But I absolutely love this book, and this is actually the first romance that I've read this year, I think, and I'm so glad that it ended on a high note. I highly recommend if you have not read this yet. So those are all of the books that I read for Game of Tomes. Had a great time. I was surprised that I actually completed my quest early because I typically don't do readathons, and not being able to complete all the prompts is one of the main reasons why. But it was a very good round. Super excited for future rounds. Stay tuned on that. But here are the rest of the books that I read for that month. The first one is a recommendation that I got from Nicole. If you saw my 12 Recs from 12 Friends TBR, it was one of those books, and I ended up being able to finish it a little early. And it was The Plot is Murder by V.M. Burns. So this is the first in a cozy mystery series. This is about a woman who opens up her own mystery bookshop. Someone that she does not like ends up dead in her backyard, and we follow the story from there. I rated this 3 stars. I didn't love it, and I will not be continuing the series. However, this is the best cozy mystery that I have read to date. So that says something. I don't know what it is about cozies. I don't know. I also appreciate in this one that there was not a romance. I don't know if that changes later in the series, but I don't know. I'm just really struggling with that. But I do have a list of more cozy mysteries that I want to try, so we'll see how that goes. I didn't hate it. I also just didn't like it. I will say though, I do like Nana Jo. We like the granny with a gun. She's hilarious. I absolutely loved her. And I actually kind of like the kid they took into. I like the do I like the characters? I like the characters for the most part. There's also a story within a story in this. The main character is writing a like British romance novel, and I didn't care for that either. So yeah, I don't know. We're getting closer, we're making progress, but this one wasn't for me. The next book that I read was The Beast by Katie Robert. This is book 4 in the Wicked Villain series, and it is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast that centers Belle, Gaston, and the Beast. Why this man is actually called the Beast and like doesn't have a name is weird. I mean, like, he has a name, but nobody uses his name. But I don't know, it's just weird because like if I met somebody in real life and they were like, yeah, I'm Beast, I'd be like, excuse me? No. But anyway, I did enjoy this one. They do end up being a throuple, so that's fun. And I will say that I liked this better than Learn My Lesson. I think their dynamic is better. I rated it 4 stars. I think I like GoTathon better than Beast, because Beast was kind of like brooding and like wouldn't really say what he was thinking, and it was kind of annoying. And of course there was some miscommunication, which y'all know I don't like. But yeah, I enjoyed it. 4 stars, and my favorite villain is still Hook though, so far. So I will be continuing the story. The next one is The Sea Witch, and I think I have a copy of it on Scribd, so maybe I'll get to that soon. And the last book that I read in March was Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. Y'all, I did not enjoy it, okay? And I need y'all's help though, because I kind of want to read the next book because it's about Rosie and I like her, but I don't know if I should. Tell me if y'all have read Fix Her Up and if I should go on to the next book. I kind of do want to complete the series, but I don't know, y'all, because this one just wasn't it. There were so many things in this book that I did not fucking like. I have a little ranty review on the StoryGraph. I don't know, it just didn't work for me. So in this, we're following Georgie Castle, who is a clown. That is her job. She's a birthday party clown, and she's had this crush on her brother's best friend, who is a Major League Baseball player, or former Major League Baseball player, Travis. He had an injury and he's kind of spiraling out of control. She works really hard to get him out of his funk, and then they decide to fake date because he needs a better image in order to get this job that he really wants, and she's tired of people seeing her as a child because she's the youngest sibling in her family, as well as her being a birthday party clown. Like, people just constantly treat her like a kid, and she's 23 at this point. So y'all know how I am about romance, and I would recommend this to people who enjoy fake dating, who like when the hero calls the heroine baby girl. I fucking hate that shit. It's sexy, but their first sexual encounter was cringy to me. There were also some tropes around the main characters that I didn't love. Maybe I'll do a review for this one too, because I do have a lot of thoughts. That's definitely gonna have to be a junk book review. But then again, maybe I should do the whole series. So I don't know. What should I do? Should I read the next book? Should I do it on book review? Should I review them separately? Should I do a series review? I like doing series reviews because they're efficient, but at the same time, they always end up being long. Y'all know how I feel about long videos. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but let me know if I should read the next book in the series. Yeah, I rated this 2 stars, so it just wasn't for me. I was talking to Kindle though, and she said that she really likes a different book by Tessa Bailey. Fuck, which one is it? I can see the cover, but I don't know the name. Apparently the heroine in that one is based off of the character in Schitt's Creek. I haven't watched Schitt's Creek yet. I know. I'm gonna do it because it's been recommended to me a few times. So I'm gonna do that at some point. But yeah, I will be giving Tessa Bailey a second chance. I might actually be doing a second chance series sort of thing. Not really a vlog, I don't really do vlogs, but there are a few authors that I'm thinking about giving a second chance to, so I think Tessa Bailey will be on that. So those are all of the books that I read in March. I was able to complete my main quest for Game of Tomes and then some. Great month as far as quantity, not necessarily for quality, although I am pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed the Kiss Quotient, so that is definitely a win. But as always, let me know if you have read any of these or if they are on your TBR. Especially let me know about the Tessa Bailey situation, because I'm really struggling with that one. I don't know what to do. Otherwise, that is all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.